So, Peter, to what do I owe the pleasure?
I'm sorry to bother you, sir.
Please, we saved half the universe together. I think we're beyond you calling me sir.
Okay, Steven.
That feels weird, but I'll allow it.
Take my path, everlast, ruthless pain, always bleed. Silent sound, stalking ground, cemetery run, I'm lasting on.
Hey guys, so Lloyd here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Doctor Strange as he appears in the upcoming Marvel movie Spider-Man No Way Home. Or to be honest with you, he looked very similar in Infinity War, Endgame, Thor Ragnarok, and even the Doctor Strange movie to a point. His costume hasn't changed all too much, I don't think. This guy is, of course, a part of the Armadillo Build-A-Figure wave, and he comes with the noggin. That's right, big old honkin' noggin that snaps onto the ball peg right there, and doesn't have a whole lot of movement. It mostly rotates and looks up and down a little bit, tilts side to side a little bit. I will say this torso does move a lot more than it did when I reviewed Shriek. Is that her name? It does actually rotate here. But as usual, I had to lubricate the joint so it actually works. So there you go. Hashtag don't break your toys. So, setting that down. He does come with a few accessories. Comes with two grip hands with nothing to hold. No, I guess the Eye of Agamotto, but, you know, he didn't come with anything extra to hold, that is. And then he also comes with two super awesome magic effect hands. One is a little bigger than the other. That's what she said. They got the pegs in the back. They do hinge up and down. Or I guess in this case in and out, but you know what I mean. They look great. I really dig these. Hence why I used them in the URL. And that is all. Not a bad spread. I would have liked maybe some mirrored versions of these, but other than that, I don't know what else this guy could have come with, unless there's a specific thing in the movie that he should have. But getting into the meat and taters here, bringing them up close. This is by far the best MCU Doctor Strange I think we've gotten. The one in the 3-pack with the Iron Man with the light-up chest and the Thanos redo that looks 10 million times better than that Grimace Build-A-Figure we got many, many years ago now. A few years ago, wasn't it? 2018? Either way, they look way better than that. Had probably the best MCU Doctor Strange, but he had a weird magic effect that was permanently attached to his arm. Had to do with him handing the... Is it the Time Stone? Is that what he's got in here? The old Eye of Agamotto? But whatever stone is in the Eye of Agamotto, he was like handing the Thanos, and it's kind of permanently sculpted that way. But this guy, you can pop the cape off. It does come separate in the package, but it does peg on nice and secure. But I'm going to take it off for review's sake, just so it doesn't get in the way. It does have some texturing throughout. A little bit on the back, a little bit here. Not too shabby. And it doesn't get in the way of articulation of this arm, like the previous release, which I unfortunately do not have handy for comparison. He is deep in my MCU shelf somewhere, but he will soon be replaced by this guy. He does also, of course, come with the Eye of Agamotto, which does fit in his hand there. If you want to have him just holding it. But I'll take that off, set that to the side too, so we can take a look-see at his articulation and whatnot. It appears to be the same torso as the first release, maybe. New arms, they're pinless, so that's cool. They don't have any flex to them. A new kind of belt piece. His legs are, unfortunately, the same as that first release, so they're a little gummy. But that's whatever, I guess. I don't remember the first release having a boot cut, though. Could be wrong, but I gotta dig him out and replace him with this guy at some point. But a really nice MCU Strange, man. He's got the peg hole on the back for the cape. A really, really nice figure. Best Benedict Cumberbatch head sculpt I think we've ever gotten. Sculpt and paint-wise, he's got the dot matrix, digital face scan tech stuff going on there. It's really good. But as far as articulation goes, his head can look up, down, tilt side to side, look side to side. I believe this is a double ball peg. It is. So I think this torso might actually be new. The neck feels like a separate piece, but it does not move. So I don't try to move it. Hashtag don't break your toys again. Shoulders go out to the side. No butterflies to speak of. That would have been cool, but would have wrecked the sculpt a little bit, I think. Shoulders go all the way around. He's got a bicep cut. Double joint at the elbow, which works pretty good. Looks great pinless there. I will say the bicep cut's not the prettiest thing ever. But he does have baggy sleeves, so there's not a whole lot you can do with that other than maybe put it up closer to the shoulder where this... Oh, that is where they put it. Okay, never mind. Yeah, not a whole lot you could do to avoid that other than maybe a hinge swivel elbow, which no one likes. He does have hinge and swivel in the wrist. It works pretty good despite the fact he's got the cuffs going on. And if you want to know how easy it is to pop the other kind of hands in with the effect parts, it's really easy. They just pop right in. Like so. You can have him casting a spell there. Looks pretty sweet. Getting him out wasn't too bad either. But I'll just keep him with this hand for now. Takes up less real estate. Torso is on a kind of a diaphragm joint there. It does tilt back pretty far. It does tilt forward enough. It does rotate side to side just fine. Tilts side to side as well. The waist, I think, rotates on its own. Let's see here. Can't really get to it. Nah, it doesn't. Never mind. His hips do kick out a little bit. They kick forward and back. He's got a thigh cut up in there. He's got a double joint in the knee. Which does work, despite all of his garments hanging down. He's got a boot cut. He's got a hinge in the foot with rocker and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So there you go. That is Dr. Stephen Strange in a nutshell. Looking pretty cool, if I do say so myself. The cape, again, does peg in and sit right on the body. That's another thing. It sits flush on the body. There you go. Check that out. A little windswept too, but that's okay. It's a little windswept. The other one was like super pre-pose. You couldn't even, like I said, pose this arm. But alas, I do not have that handy for comparison. Otherwise, I would show you how terrible that old cape was. And I used to like that figure quite a bit too. I thought it was decent at the time, but having this, there's no comparison. So, with that being said, let's actually take a look at some comparisons. First up, here is Dr. Stephen Strange. Next to the only other figure I've taken a look at from this wave thus far, we have good old Shriek, or as I like to call her nowadays, Mrs. Carnage. And the only MCU Spider-Man I was able to get to without knocking a bunch of stuff over, this is the Iron Spider complete with Waldos from the Iron Spider Iron Man 2-pack. as they appeared in Infinity War, which I think was part of the Marvel Legends, Marvel Studios' first 10 years line, if I'm not mistaken. But I figured since Spidey has a suit similar to this in the new movie, this was my best bet for comparison, so there is that. And last but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus and the 11th Spawn, who as usual towers over everyone. So with that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and as I've said before in the past, while I may not be the biggest fan of the MCU figures in the Marvel Legends line, I'd be lying if I said this wasn't a darn good figure representation, whatever you want to call it, of Dr. Stephen Strange as he appears in the MCU. This is a really solid release, guys. I really dig this figure. The only major drawback with him is he's still got the legs from the old Doctor Strange from, well, the first Doctor Strange movie and only Doctor Strange movie at this point. Hopefully next year that'll change, knock on wood. But with that being said, if you want a really solid MCU Doctor Strange, I think this is your best bet. I'm pretty sure he looked like this for the most part in Infinity War and or Endgame and wherever else he appeared. Thor Ragnarok too, right? So, you know, there is that. It's definitely a step up from the previous release, which I do have, but it's buried on the shelf, so I didn't have them out for comparison, as I said before. But yeah, this is a really awesome figure, man, and is really making me rethink my top 10 Legends of the Year list as far as the criteria goes, because while I wasn't originally planning on adding MCU figures, this guy in the zombie cap may push me over the edge to let a couple slide in there. So with that being said, for those reasons alone, I would highly recommend you pick this guy up. I think he's a really solid figure. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one, because we got to show that algorithm who's boss, right? If you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep your comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.